Hey everyone, Machi here. So I just want to talk about something that pretty much everyone's talking about right now in the gaming space, and that is the announcement by the Overwatch 2 devs that the originally planned PVE Overwatch 2 with skill trees and all those has been cancelled, though despite what you may have read on these super clickbaity straight up lies for thumbnails that a lot of streamers have, the PVE itself has not been cancelled. It still will be available to everybody. It will just be reintegrated into the current state of Overwatch 2, which is the PvP with a 5v5. And there's a lot more detail into it, but you can just go watch their dev update about it. So I'm not going to try to rehash all the information that's been revealed, and I'm certainly not going to tell you how disappointed I am, because obviously everybody is. I don't need to tell you that. But what I do need to talk about is how people have basically harassed and focused on the devs and calling this the devs' mistake, when in fact it is another clear sign of the mismanagement by Activision Blizzard and allowing their devs to basically take the brunt of all the blame. And as somebody who supports the unionization efforts of the people at Activision Blizzard, I will not stand for people harassing the devs for the actions of their management, especially with a management as infamous as Activision Blizzard, with their human turd CEO, Bobby Kotick. And I'm sincerely disappointed with people who are placing the blame on devs just because they're disappointed about the game. And I want to specifically call out this argument that the devs haven't been working on anything this whole time. What have they been working on? Oh no, it's been 4 years. Is there nothing? And as somebody in the animation industry who knows people who work in the game industry, I do want gamers to learn a little lesson about this medium that they claim to love. And it is that no matter how much work these people put in to this thing that they care about, at the drop of the hat, at the decision of any CEO who believes that they could just earn a little bit of money or even lose a lot of money but keep control over their assets, they will just cancel whatever projects. It doesn't matter how long they were working on it. They can just make that disappear. And that's pretty much the sense I'm getting. I think this, as well as all the layoffs, as well as all the people who went on strike, as well as all of these issues in which Activision Blizzard has made a work environment so hostile that all the people who were working on Overwatch either just left or were pushed out. And the gamers who are blaming them for these decisions they are forced to make because of the limited resources, because of their shitty management, they need to shut the fuck up. I think gamers just need to sit down and close their mouths and think for a second. And not only think, but listen for a second. Because a lot of these mysteries, these questions that gamers keep asking, can be clarified if you are following the unionization efforts with a better ABK, if you are following the lawsuits, if you are following the Microsoft acquisition. So instead of asking useless questions like what were the devs doing this whole time, think for a second about the work environment that the devs were working in and the decision making of their terrible management. And maybe instead of being smug idiots and harassing the devs who have had to make tough decisions based on the limitations that they have been given, maybe you should support them, because this is the sort of thing that happens when you create a work environment that is hostile and allow executives to make the decision to axe projects that have been going on for years just to make a quick buck, or to keep control of assets, or just for whatever reasons these weird execs do things. Like keep Bobby Kotick on, even though it would be so easy to just let him go and win ABK back a few points. Here's what I think is most likely, because we're probably never going to get the full story from them. They were given limited resources. They were told that no, you will not be getting more money, more time to work on this game. You will not be getting a bigger team just because we decided that you can no longer work from home. Now make us these two separate games, both of which should make a lot of money. And the dev team said, no, we can only do so much, we're just humans. And the statement that you are seeing now is full honesty from that team, knowing that they would get backlash. And knowing that gamers aren't exactly that smart and would blame them for something that they had no control over. So ultimately there's no defending any of this, and there's no defending that this was clearly a money grab by Activision Blizzard. But I will say that if you blame the devs for having to stop producing something that they were clearly very invested in, then you're playing right into Activision Blizzard's hands and doing exactly what fucks like Bobby Kotick want. So please pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes. It is very well documented, so it's quite easy to pay attention to what's going on with Activision Blizzard right now. And please support the devs. Stop blaming them for shit they can't control. And stop being like the weird gamers who lie about the updates and try to turn you against them. If you love Blizzard's games, the best you can do is ensure that the people who make them are taken care of. Otherwise, you'll just get more Overwatch 2. And by Overwatch 2, I mean the cancellation of everything everyone wanted and a team running on empty. Because either people left because of the hostile work environment, or they were fired because they still wanted to do remote work and Actiblizz said no. Oh, and fun fact for the Overwatch fans who are still listening, if you don't follow the unionization efforts, and you should, back when Jeff Kaplan left, there was some concern that he was involved in some way with a misconduct, but there were some people in the union who were staging walkouts who confirmed that Jeff Kaplan was their ally, that he was shielding them and protecting them from a lot of executive interference. A lot of the shit that they were doing, the Overwatch team felt safer with Jeff around, but even he had to move on, because it really is that hostile a work environment. So please, stop making it worse for the devs who are still there. They're just trying to make a living, they're trying to keep Overwatch from tanking, even if that's probably not possible at this point. Just try to support them, not by paying Blizzard any more money, because they certainly don't deserve it, but just by accepting that they are not to blame for the things you blame Blizzard for. And stop fucking asking what they've been working on the past many years, because what they've been working on is either going to be integrated in the current game for the next 2-3 years, and what they can't integrate will be scrapped. Because right now, the dev team is just trying to save a game that Actiblizz seems hell-bent on destroying. And if you're still listening, please be kind. If you want someone to blame, Bobby Kodak's right there. He fucking sucks. Pay more attention. Muchie out.